Hey, good evening, everyone. From all of us at the Faculty of Environmental and Urban Change, welcome to the 2020 Geography Graduation, Award, and Alumni Celebration. My name is Ranu Basu, and as the Geography Legacy Coordinator of this transitional year, I will also be the MC for this evening's program. So before we begin with more formal welcomes and introductions, I would like to introduce my colleague, Professor Tricia Wood, our Graduate Program Director in Geography, who will begin our ceremony with the land acknowledgements.
Thanks, Ranu. We begin this evening by acknowledging that the land on which York University sits has been the residence and traditional territory of several First Nations and many Indigenous peoples up until today as well, including the Huron-Wendat, the Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and we recognize the current treaty holders, the Mississaugas of the Credit. The area where Toronto sits, and the region extending around the Great Lakes, is also subject to the Dish with One Spoon Covenant and Wampum Belt, an agreement first among Indigenous nations in the region, but now an agreement that obliges all of us here to share and to serve as stewards for the land, taking only what we need and committing ourselves to peaceful relationships with each other. Universities and other researchers have a particular obligation to recognize their colonial pasts and the role of research and teaching in the perpetuation in the racism and genocide of settler colonialism. Knowledge production is always a political act, and geography has a particular obligation to face our discipline's own history of active participation in colonialism and to commit to actively working to undo and to repair what we can, and to engage in research and teaching that fosters real and meaningful reconciliation. In acknowledging the land, we also acknowledge our obligations to the land and to each other. And we should keep these in mind both this evening and afterwards as we go forward in our own work and our own lives.
Thank you very much, Professor Wood. Okay, so yeah, so thank you very much once again, Professor Wood. And once again, I'd like to say good evening to everyone. And it's my great honor on behalf of the extended geography community at York, now in the new Faculty of Environmental and Urban Change, to welcome all of you today to the 2020 Geography Graduation, Award, and Alumni Celebration. And especially a very warm welcome to all of our students graduating and to the present, and their well-wishers and families who have joined us for this event. To the members of our Geography Alumni Association, UGAN, and our esteemed retirees, and to Dr. James Harold, our Distinguished Alumni Award winner. Despite the very challenging times that we are in, the award ceremony is a tradition that we have grown to cherish over the years, reflecting the intellectual vibrancy and incredible talent of our many students. And it is in this spirit that we have gathered together to celebrate these many accomplishments. Finally, before we begin, a very special acknowledgement and deep gratitude to our staff for the tremendous amount of work that went into putting this event together, especially during these complex times. So special thanks to Anne Ralph, Yvonne Yim, and Jennifer Ferdinand, and also Li Vong, Kanza Chima, Joanne Hui, for their ongoing and deep commitment to our students. Thank you. So before proceeding, some very quick housekeeping notes. This event is of course being recorded, and if you wish to remain anonymous, we recommend that you turn off your camera, mute your microphone, and rename yourself as anonymous or use a pseudonym or alias to maintain anonymity. And keep your microphone muted if you're not speaking. And should you have any technical issues or questions, please use the participants tab to raise a hand or type in the chat box if you require assistance or have a question. We will do our best to assist you. Now I'd like to introduce Professor Philip Kelly, the past chair of the former Department of Geography and now Associate Dean for Research, Graduate, and Global Affairs, who will say a few words and welcome our Dean of the Faculty of Environmental and Urban Change, Professor Alice Hovorka. Over to you, Bill.
Thanks very much, Ranu. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this event. Last week, as you probably know, it was Geography Awareness Week across North America. But this evening, we're celebrating geography and our geographers, and particularly our graduate and undergraduate students in geography at York. And as Ranu mentioned, I'm here largely as the ex-chair of the former department that you have all passed through or are passing through. And in that capacity, I really wanted to make 2 points. And the first is to thank all of you, all of our undergraduate students and graduate students, for the contributions you've made to that department, to the community of geographers over the last few years, which has been an incredibly warm, caring, and sociable community. And all of you have been a part of that, whether it is as researchers, as teaching assistants, as students, as leaders in student organizations. So thank you for everything that you have done for our community and continue to do. It is, as we've alluded to, a community that doesn't exist in the same form anymore. This is not because of the pandemic, but because we have gone through institutional change. We've created a new faculty at York, the Faculty of Environmental and Urban Change. But in many ways, this is just one more chapter in the evolving history of geography as a discipline at York. When I arrived 20 years ago, there were 2 departments of geography, and geographers were scattered all over the campus. And what's really exciting is that we've created this new entity where we've gone from a department of 17 faculty members to a faculty of over 50 faculty members, of whom 2/3 identify as geographers. So we'll continue to be a community of geographers at York, albeit an enlarged community. We'll continue to celebrate geography and the work of geographers, our students, our graduate students, and our researchers in this enlarged community. And it's a great pleasure to introduce the leader of our new community, herself a geographer, the Dean of the Faculty of Environmental and Urban Change and Professor, and that is Alice Havorka. Thank you for joining us, Alice, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Philip. I want to wish everyone a good evening. And I have to say, I'm honored to be invited to be a part of this really celebratory event on behalf of our new faculty, as Philip said, Environmental and Urban Change, known as EUC. I really want to wish everyone an enthusiastic congratulations as awardees, as graduands, as alumni, as donors, as friends, as faculty, and as staff of geography at York University. I wanted to, really my remarks revolve around you as geographers. As geographers, you form a vital core of this new faculty, which launched on September 1st of this year. And we have united, as Philip mentioned, the Department of Geography and the Faculty of Environmental Studies to come together in a call to action to address some of the most pressing challenges facing people and the planet. Whether it's the climate crisis, the loss of biodiversity, pandemics, mobilization of populations, the rapid growth of cities, and also the violent expressions of systemic racism. These are issues that are facing people and the planet. And our mission as this new faculty is to generate and mobilize knowledge for a more just and sustainable future. I would say that geographical skills and knowledges are incredibly important for addressing these challenges and for forging a path forward. As geography students, those of you who have joined us this evening, you are learning to think holistically by bringing together knowledge of natural processes and social dynamics, and you're learning how to think critically and analyze spatially these human and environment realms and how they interact together. As geographers, you also are learning to think regionally across the globe and think about placemaking in spaces closer to home. Geography is really at the heart of our new EUC in terms of its cross-cutting approaches. We have featured experiential education in these cross-cutting approaches, and we know that geographers learn through the soles of their feet. We know that geographers think in global perspectives and have an interdisciplinary and synthesis breadth that really helps us talk across perspectives and disciplines. So with that, I hope I've emphasized how special and important geography is to this new faculty. I really want to offer our heartiest congratulations to everyone that's here today. And I do see us as moving forward to building on geography's legacy at York University so that we can be even stronger as the community moving forward. I wanted to introduce you a little bit through a video about our new Faculty of Environmental and Urban Change, and I'm going to ask Joanne to cue that right now. Thank you so much, everyone. Congratulations, and let us enjoy this evening together. I'm going to now turn us back to Tricia to send us off on the rest of the agenda.
Thanks very much. And thank you very much for those very lovely comments about geography and geographers. The next part of our program is to recognize the graduate students who have received degrees in 2020. We normally have 3 moments in a year where students can graduate. Those who finish up in a fall term formally graduate in February and usually join the June ceremony. There's no February ceremony. As you may know, in June there was no ceremony in person because of the pandemic. And unfortunately, again, in October, there was no in-person ceremony. So we're going to take the opportunity here to list all of the graduate students who received their degrees in 2020. To start off our little recognition of them, though, I'd like to introduce Dr. Palin Askey, who is one of those graduates, to make a few remarks.
Hello, I think you can see me. Hi, I'm not going to take 2 minutes. I'll just put my hat here. So thank you. Well, it's been a journey, and I would like to thank everyone and congratulate every other colleague here who made it here. I just want to say that it's been, it's a process with up and downs. And once we get this hat and once we get the diploma, somehow I felt that all our work suddenly became visible. Suddenly people start to congratulate you, your family is happy and everyone is happy, which is great. But I thought, and I hope all of us will take this recognition just to remind us that all of unrecognized work that we are doing, that a degree is not just a distinction, discriminates all this work, but there are many different ways of laboring and adding value to life. And I hope, and I wish to all my colleagues and other graduates that we take this recognition as a reminder to ourselves that we have a lot to give and put into labor process. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Palin. So we'll now go through the list of graduate students who've received their degrees in 2020, beginning with those who received their doctorates. Our first doctorate recipient, in fact, is Dr. Palin Aski for her dissertation, Building the New Turkey, State Space, Infrastructure, and Citizenship, supervised by Dr. Ranu Basu. Next is Dr. Catherine Denler for her dissertation, Uncertain Future, Unsettled Present, Everyday Geographies of Precarious Immigration Status in Toronto, Canada, supervised by Dr. Valerie Preston. Dr. Amardeep Kaur for her dissertation, Subaltern Cosmopolitanisms, Placemaking in Translocal Space in Sikh Diaspora Across Hong Kong, Vancouver, and Toronto, supervised by Dr. Ranu Basu. Dr. Mijar Makati, The International Food Crisis, a Geographical Investigation of the Egyptian Context, supervised by Dr. Raju Das. These are our doctorate students who graduated in 2020. Congratulations to all of you. Moving on to our master's degree, we begin with the MSc. We have Grace Hoskin, MSc, for her thesis, Cladoceran subfossils as indicators of ecosystem responses to multiple stressors in Lake Ontario coastal wetlands, supervised by Dr. Jenny Karosi. Ratiba Munir, MSc, for her dissertation, or for her thesis, excuse me, Changes in Seasonality of Sea Ice and the Underlying Mechanisms Across Hudson Bay from 1979 to 2018, supervised by Dr. Rick Bello. Elizabeth Pereira, MSc, for her thesis, Surface Hydrology Characteristics of Inland Patchy Wetlands in Southern and Western Iceland, supervised by Dr. Kathy Young. Katerina Sophos, MSc, Rainfall Interception Responses with Lichen Canopies Across the Hudson Bay Lowlands of Churchill, Manitoba, supervised by Dr. Rick Bello. Ryan Rimis, MSc, Within Pond Variations of Gas Fluxes and the Spatiotemporal Variations of Benthic Algae and Limnological Characteristics in Shallow Ponds Located in the Hudson Bay Lowlands near Churchill, Manitoba, supervised by Dr. Rick Bello. Now for the MAs, Jonathan DeUlis, MA, Gender Perceptions of Place on York University's Keele campus through a lens of personal safety, supervised by Dr. Douglas Young. Hazel Dizon, MA, The Right to the City and Housing Struggle in the Philippines, Questioning the Legitimacy of Occupy Bulacan, supervised by Dr. Philip Kelly. Amy Drury, MA, Does City Size Matter? A Geographical Analysis of Privately Sponsored Syrian Newcomer Settlement, Social Inclusion, and Economic Integration in the Greater Toronto Area and Guelph, supervised by Dr. Jennifer Hindman. Denise Gonzalez, Inclusive Creativity Through Community Arts, a Case Study of Making Room in Parkdale, supervised by Dr. Allison Bain. Clarence Magpantai, The Call to the Filipino Diaspora, Local Development Through Transnational Practices, supervised by Dr. Philip Kelly. Shukia Van Beek, Beyond the Border, Buffalo and Blackfoot Tenure on Traditional Territory, supervised by Dr. Libby Lundstrom, and I should note, also nominated for the Canadian Studies Network MA Prize. Congratulations to all our master's recipients this year.
Okay. Thank you. Once again, congratulations to all our wonderful graduate students, both the PhD, MSc, MA, and thank you, Tricia, for your remarks. We're now going to move on to the undergraduate portion of the graduation. And we're going to begin, I'd like to introduce both Jackie Duong and Thompson Hawes, who will provide a few remarks and they both are also a part of GESE, which was our undergraduate geography student club, a Geography and Environmental Science Student Association. And they both were actively involved in this student association last year. So over to you, both of you. Jackie?
Thank you, Annie, for inviting me. As a former executive of GESE, I would like to extend another congratulations to all the graduates and award recipients. You truly deserve it. While in-person activities abruptly ended last March, let's remember all the good times we had over the years, whether it was completing assignments in the GIS lab or in the GRC, studying, socializing, working collaboratively on labs, or attending events hosted by either GESE, such as the board game nights, or the departments, such as the travelogue. Whether you were attracted to the activities or wanted more information, or were attracted to free food, those were the days. Even though we are celebrating remotely, the memories of years gone by, of the events, of the time spent together, the special place of geography at York still lives on. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Jackie. Those are wonderful remarks. Over to you, Thompson.
Thanks, Jackie. Your remarks were wonderful. And after what I have to say, embarrassingly brief. But thank you. First, a hearty and heartfelt thank you to the many professors and TAs and peers who've contributed to my success at York. You know, seeing all these names on the Zoom chat today, John Walkerton, you helped fund me. Jenny and Philip and Tally and Tarmo, you guys offered me research opportunities and jobs. Tally and Rick, you guys have been at my side through the bureaucratic battles to graduate, and your courses have pushed my lit review and quantitative analysis skills to new heights. Josh and Kathy, you guys actually got me outside for labs, sometimes in hip waders, sometimes in blizzards, for which I was always very grateful. I mean that. And many others have inspired and supported me, challenging me to grow during my time at York. Man, my peers and friends too, Rosie, Thomas, Soren, Jackie, Nick, and Isabel, so many others. You guys have shared laughs, gripes, and tears. You've given and received critical feedback gracefully. And everyone who's helped me feel welcome, seen, and valued at York, you know, are so important. It's the people with whom we share life's experiences that make the hard times bearable and the good times all the sweeter. Which I think is a good segue into my core comments for today. I was asked to speak on behalf of the undergraduate and convocating students, which I feel grossly unqualified to do. All of our journeys are so unique. What can I say of value in this short time? This was my second run at an undergraduate degree, so here are my thoughts on the road ahead and the core value of the undergraduate experience based on the perspective I have now. So I'm speaking now to my undergraduate peers. As we leave the challenging but nurturing cocoon of academia, we enter a new world, ourselves made new. As we set sail upon these new seas with our new degrees in hand and leave York on the horizon behind us, our focus will shift. Some memories will fade. We will forget about the A+, the barely passes, and the sorry, please try agains. What will stay with us most strongly, in my experience, is not what we learned, but who we loved. Strong friendships are forged in the fires of shared struggle. Who have you shared laughter with, or private tears? Anxieties before an exam, or sweet relief after? Who have you been there for? And who have you leaned on? What I got out of my first undergraduate experience, what has the most enduring value for me, are the ties that bind me to my former peers. Once formed, they're surprisingly strong and elastic. You know, my wife is from that era, and so is my best friend. Many others are as familiar now as family, even after years and oceans have stood between us. Across all that time and space, there's something about what we shared that makes those relationships among the most enduring and meaningful to me today. Geography is about place, it's about people and about change. How massively has this place, York, this experience, these people, how have they changed you? Are you the same person who walked into Ross for the first time, however many years ago? You know, it's the peers who are here today who know the new you. You guys co-created each other. Nurture those connections. Find ways to feed the fires of friendship that were sparked here. These bonds are in their infancy, incubated in these halls, but with many more years ahead than behind. Finally, times of transition can be very hard. If you're struggling right now, you're not alone. I struggle every day to feel optimistic, valuable, secure. I succeed and fail in equal measure, especially this year with the myriad disasters and occasional relief, with some astronomical highs to be sure, like graduation, but also some brutal lows, like the job market right now. It is a challenging year to graduate. We are the graduates of the great pandemic of 2020. We are strong, we are brave, we are resilient. And we're learning that even when we are apart in space, we are together in spirit. So as you head out on the next adventure and leave the hard-won feelings of familiarity with York, you will bring these friendships as you begin anew once more. Think about how insurmountable this degree felt at times, especially near the beginning. It may be scary to face the uncertainty ahead, where the risks feel right in front of you and the rewards may seem in the distant future. So remember this: a ship in a harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Thompson. It's the words of I'm a bit of speechless. It's both the words, Jackie and Thompson, very inspirational words, very powerful words, and a very profound message for all the graduating students. And it was a very beautiful way for you to share that message and to and begin reading in that spirit the acknowledgements of those who have graduated in the past year. So thank you once again, Jackie and Thompson, again, for your very inspirational and powerful words that we can share with the rest of the undergraduate students. So now I'm going to read out all the names of the BA and BSc graduates and to convey our congratulations to all of them. So we begin with Amir Ali Ibrahim Mirad. That's a Bachelor in Geography with Specialized Honors. Andrew Gordon, again, a Bachelor in Geography with Specialized Honors. And Corinne Johnson, a Bachelor in Geography with Honors. Shuhan Guo, a Bachelor in Geography. John Skotra, apologize if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, a Bachelor in Geography. Monica Sick, a Bachelor in Geography. Jadia Murray, a Bachelor in Geography with a Specialized Honors, Geography and Urban Studies. Huyn Park, Bachelor in Geography with Honors and Major, Minor in Geography and Urban Studies. And so once again, congratulations to all the BA students in Geography. Moving on to the BSc students. Jad Aswad, a BSc in Geography with Specialized Honors. Zul Kwan Sun with a BSc in Geography. Aisha Abdul Rahman, a BSc in Geography. Natalie Grandi, a BSc in Environmental Science, Life Science stream with Specialized Honors. Maneet Hundal, BSc in Environmental Science, Life Science stream with Specialized Honors. Syed Hussain, a BSc in Environmental Science, Life Science stream with Specialized Honors. And Hao Chen Wang, BSc in Environmental Science, Physical Science stream with Specialized Honors. And that concludes, and once again, congratulations to all our BSc class of 2020. So this section concludes this portion of the event. And once again, congratulations to all of those who've graduated this past year. We're going to move on now to the second section of the program, which is the awards celebration. And once again, as I mentioned earlier, the award ceremony is a very rich tradition that we've grown to cherish over the years. I remember just a few years ago when I was the UPD, when we had our first award ceremony in the GRC room, the teaching resource room. It was a very small ceremony and it grew over the years. And last year, I believe, it was one of the biggest events that we had. It was done with a lot of pomp and with a lot of excitement and with many people in attendance. And again, we're back to this year with at least celebrating it online. So it was important for us to reflect again, as I said earlier, on the intellectual vibrancy and the incredible talent of our many students. And so again, it's in this spirit that we will begin our undergraduate awards. So I'm just going to read out the different awards. So we're going to start off with the first year awards. And the first year awards, I'm just going to describe the awards. These are two geography undergraduate, these are students obtaining the top grades in each of our 3 introductory courses. This is Geography 1000, which is Introduction to World Geography, and the award goes to Michael Golizia and Rachel Pellegrino. The first year Geography Award, Introduction to Physical Geography, the award goes this year to Rachel Pellegrino and William Anthony. And finally, the first year award in Introduction to Human Geography 1410, the award goes to Michael Dolmaya and Huayang Chui. Moving on to the Hans Carroll Prize. The Hans Carroll Prize is donated by the friends and colleagues of the late Hans Carroll. Professor Hans Carroll was the first chair of the Department of Geography at York University, and the prize is given annually and is intended to recognize the academic achievements of a third-year geography student. And this year, the award goes to Sofia Balco. The next award is the George Michie Memorial Scholarship, and that was established to honor the late Professor George H. Michie by encouraging students interested in Canadian rural geography. This scholarship was awarded to a student majoring in geography who has completed during the award academic year at least 12 credits at the 2000 level or above in geography with a grade of at least A, and in the Geography of Canada course. And this year, the award goes to Sofia Balco again. The next award is the Canadian Association of Geographers Award. And this is an annual award given by the Canadian Association of Geographers. And the winner will receive a complimentary membership in the CAG for the following year. And his or her name will be published in the CAG newsletter. This award is presented to the most outstanding students graduating in geography honors programs at the universities across Canada. And once again, congratulations to Thompson Hawes for this award. The next award is the Arts Geography Book Prize, and this is awarded to the most outstanding student enrolled in a BA Geography program in a 3rd or 4th year course, and it is selected and nominated by those who teach the 3rd or 4th year course. This year, the student who's been nominated is Sabrina Sakuchi, and she's nominated by Professor Patricia Wood. And finally, the Science Geography Book Prizes. We have 2 this year. The Science Geography Book Prize is awarded to the most outstanding student enrolled in a BSc Geography program in the 3rd or 4th year geography course, and is selected from candidates nominated again by the instructor. And this year, Isabel Richardson and Nicholas D. Tremont was nominated by Professor Kathy Young for the physical hydrology course. And in the past, we would have those who nominate award the students on stage, but for this year, we will just mention them. And finally, the John Workington Bursary. And this bursary is awarded annually to an undergraduate student who has a high grade point average in the first 2 years of study in geography and participation, which is really important, not just only a high grade point average, but also active undergraduate program activities, participation in the community. And this year we have 4 award winners: Michael Golzia, Kathia Johnson, Catherine Labuda, and Vincent Lanes. And we're very fortunate this year to have Professor John Workington, who is in the audience today, to say a few words regarding this reward. So over to you, John.
Normally, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Normally, I would greet you on stage, shake your hand, and warmly congratulate you on your achievements in winning these bursaries. They're a fine accomplishment in a class of very good students. However, tonight, I simply have to warmly congratulate you through Zoom. At the same time, an award such as this is an encouragement to continue your good work as you continue your studies, preferably in geography, but perhaps in other subjects, that's fine as well. Finally, I want to congratulate all award recipients tonight, undergrad and grad. Good luck in following your scholarly interests, especially at this time. I'll turn you back to Ranu now.
Thank you so much, John. What a privilege to have you here with us today and to share that such a very important message to all our award winners, not just the John Workington Award winners, but to all the graduate students who have convocated and who have received awards. So thank you very much for your words and for your wishes. So now I'm going to move back to welcome Tricia back and to announce the graduate award recipients.
Thanks, Ranu. I believe the first awards up are the Paul Simpson Housley Awards. Yes. So the Paul Simpson Housley Award is a very special one. It is named for a colleague who passed away in 2002. He was a very active member of the department, is remembered very warmly. It's a very generous and social colleague with insatiable curiosity, and he's remembered very fondly by those of us who knew him. And we give this award in his name to the most outstanding thesis at the master's level, either MA or MSc, and to the most outstanding PhD in the dissertation in the program. And the 2020 recipients are Dr. Ray Rosenberg and Shukia Van Beek. Congratulations to both of you. The next award is the Ross Hunter Patterson Award, which we have due to the generous philanthropy of Ross Hunter Patterson. And it is an award given for outstanding research specializing in urban or social geography with preference to those studying in Toronto. And this year's recipient is Sarah Mahane, who is doing research on students with disabilities' use of transportation in the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. Congratulations to Sarah. The last set of awards, we want to recognize all of our students who are recipients of Ontario Graduate Scholarships for 2020, which is a major scholarship in support of their research programs. This year's recipients are Emile Baril, Kristen Coleman, Perry Doe, Soren Gruya, Mandy Hyun, Amanda Little, Mallory McDonnell, Carly Mello, Hiba Shath, and Megan Whitney. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Tricia. Okay, so thank you very much. And once again, congratulations to all the award winners, both undergraduate and the graduate students. Now we're going to move on to the final section of the ceremony, and that is the Alumni Award and event. And so I'd like to introduce and welcome, very warm welcome to Dr. Dylan McLean to give remarks and present the Distinguished Alumni Award. Over to you, Dylan. With Churchill or no?
No. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Dylan McLean. It is my great privilege to be serving the York community as president and chair of the York University Geography Alumni Network, which is better known as UGAN. Let me add my congratulations to all of the award recipients and graduates this evening. It is a tremendous achievement getting through university, and it is the highlight of my year to be able to return to York and celebrate alongside our amazing students in geography. UGAN is your network. We are here to serve you and to help you continue to engage with York after graduation. One of the other important jobs that we have is that we support in various ways the teaching and learning of geography at York and beyond. If the Distinguished Alumni Award for Geography can teach us anything as young people, it is that our passion for geography need not end with graduation. In fact, it is something that should very much continue to grow. Likewise, the sense of community that you feel at York need not end. In fact, it can be turned into a passion for continued service and community engagement as you move forward in life. The Distinguished Alumni Award for Geography is an annual award that recognizes a geography graduate for their outstanding contributions to geography, who have had distinguished careers in the wider community in Canada or elsewhere in the world. And the contributions to geography can be scholarly or in the private and public sectors. This year, the Distinguished Alumni Award is being awarded to an alumni who is being recognized for his extraordinary breadth of contributions to our discipline. We are thrilled this evening to recognize, actually he graduated twice from York, James Harold, who has a BA and MA in geography from York. And he's just, I'm like very inspired by Jim's work. But after completing his master's at York University, Jim later returned to the academy and obtained a PhD in geography from the University of Victoria, where he's currently an adjunct professor of geography. What is truly incredible about Jim is that he has been able to really marry practical and academic learning throughout his career, believing strongly that academic and practical learning strengthen and support one another. After graduation from York, he worked in the public sector at CIBC Bank, where geography informed his analysis of bank branch networks and community needs. After 11 years and having risen to the ranks of Vice President of Marketing at CIBC, Jim left the bank and started up a strategic consultancy firm with geography at its very core. Active for over 30 years as president and principal advisor of Harold & Company, his consulting firm, he has taken on a number of very important roles with the goal of effecting change. And in this capacity, he has served as, to name but a few roles, I'm sure, as city manager, college campus director, master level program director, and coordinator of the social and population health curriculum for a medical school, as well as twice, he served as a hospital CEO. As a professional geographer, Jim's practice over the last 15 years has largely been focused on consulting with First Nations on improving health. This work, in part, I think, inspired his PhD on therapeutic regions, which examines the role of placemaking in health promotion activities. Whether focused on network analysis needs, the role of policy in specific regions, places, or organizations in their capacity to affect change, Jim has maintained a passion for community building and service, having dedicated over 17,000 hours of his time to a wide array of community organizations, hospital boards, and charitable foundations over the last 36 years. I think we can all be humbled by that service record. So Jim, it is my very great pleasure on behalf of the executive of UGAN and the entire York community to congratulate you on your award. I believe that you are a very worthy recipient of this Distinguished Alumni Award for Geography in 2020. Normally, I would get to also shake your hand and hand over a certificate, but since we can't do this in person this year, I would now like to call upon you to say a few words to our students, faculty, and alumni. Jim, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dylan. Am I being heard well? Okay, good. Thank you very much. Well, needless to say, I'm very honored to receive the Distinguished Alumni Award from UGAN, and I'm humbled to be alongside the 3 previous accomplished recipients of this recognition. I must say, however, when I went through university, I always thought that a Distinguished Alumni recognition was reserved for Nobel Prize winners or those with the prospect of $1 million donations. If either of those were the slightest expectation behind my recognition, I'm very sorry to disappoint on both counts. I am a fiercely proud geographer. However, and I believe our commitment to and interpretations of place and space, our indefatigable systems thinking, and our big tent approach to the discipline make geographers distinctly adaptable practitioners and valued researchers. Although I've had many titles since earning my first degree, I believe my work has always been that of a critical human geographer. My career as a geographer is a rhizome of interconnectedness of stories and themes and ideas and people and places. And I'm thankful for the opportunity that the discipline has revealed to me. More importantly, I'm thankful for the support I've received from many people. Most importantly, that of my wife, Mary Claire. When Dylan said there was an opportunity for me to make a few comments tonight, a rush of ideas sprang to mind on how I could best show my appreciation for this award and for being an alumnus of the geography department. Let me start that by taking a few minutes to thank 3 professors emeriti from whom I've had the privilege to learn. To John Workington, I say thank you for linking theory and everyday life in such a masterful manner. John knows that I relish his particular course that asked each of us to read a different daily newspaper and to report in class on how the views of that newspaper reflected the region in Canada it represented. I was asked to read the Calgary Herald, of course. This was only one small way that Professor Workington let us experience and discuss historical geographic concepts and theories alongside the realities of the day. Thank you, John. Bill Found was chair of the department most of my undergraduate years and then moved to senior administrative posts in the university. Despite his busy commitments, I always considered Bill to be a mentor in a blend of formal and informal ways. When supervising my master's, teaching his world geography course, planning a Christmas party for the student society and the department, organizing and traveling on field trips, letting me occupy his research office for a year, or later when my early banking career and his role at the university intersected. Bill was instrumental in supporting my participation in the York Kenya project in Nairobi and generally making my university life more complete. Thank you, Bill. Glenn Norcliffe is an inspiration both academically and personally. If you need to organize a field trip or museum, better call Glenn. His enthusiasm and precise attention to detail were first evident to me when I was in Nairobi as part of that small team that included Glenn. Every second weekend, it was time for a safari, usually organized by Glenn. By car or plane, off the small team and family members went to encounter a certain group of people, explore the landscape, or photograph wildlife. And while I remember my work with the project planning and evaluation unit quite well, I cherished the safaris, the camping, the exploring, and the photo contest nights. Since Nairobi, our paths have crossed many times, and even not that long ago, at an airport security line as he was off to chart detail of a bike tour in the UK. Every encounter is a delight. Thank you, Glenn. In the years to come, when this distinguished alumni recognition includes the names of bright and dedicated geography minds of today, and perhaps even a geographer Nobel Prize winner, it is likely little will be recalled of those recognized in its early years. But you know, I'm okay with that, because this recognition tonight has given me the perfect opportunity to thank those who have been inspirational to me and countless others. In the few minutes remaining, I'd like to turn to some of my current geographic work. During the past couple of decades, I've worked alongside First Nations peoples as the federal government moved to divest to the provinces the few remaining Indian hospitals. This was a great opportunity to learn from First Nations in Northern Ontario, both in Sioux Lookout region and Moose Factory region, and in Norrie House, Manitoba. These projects led me to an ongoing relationship with First Nations in Island Lake, Manitoba, where I've been involved in a range of projects and programs since 2015. Sorry, since 2005. I'm a lot older than I think. Island Lake Ashinanu Nation is comprised of 4 First Nations: Garden Hill, Red Sucker Lake, St. Teresa Point, and Wasagamak, all in Northeast Manitoba, not far from the Ontario border. They signed an adhesion to Treaty 5 in 1909. Total population is about 15,000, growing quickly in terms of numbers and unfortunately morbidity. The population profile is very young. All the communities are remote, with 3 of the 4 being fly-in communities. To get to the 4th, you have to fly into one of the other communities and then take a boat, a helicopter, or an ice road, depending on the time of year. Because of the lack of critical services in the region, about 20% of the Island Lake membership is in Winnipeg at any one time, mostly for health, housing, or education reasons. Island Lake membership health status is very poor, acknowledged as the poorest across the provinces by Health Canada. Addictions are rampant. Mental health supports are spotty. And yes, these conditions also lead to urban change in Winnipeg. What we all know that identifying these health and social inequalities are mere observations. And it's also understood that the underlying health and social inequities are avoidable, often corrupt, and in terms of social justice, just unfair. I mention all of this just to raise a simple plea. In 2020 and beyond, let's do what we can to understand and take action on the inequity of 12 or 14 or 16 people living in a 3-bedroom house on reserve, people enduring marginally potable water for their daily requirements, plane loads of patients flying to Winnipeg for basic health services, and elders and others being forced to relocate permanently for life-extending services such as dialysis, an experience that removes them from their culture, language, and social supports at a time when they are needed the most. Nothing would do more for reconciliation than addressing the extreme disparities of Indigenous life in Canada today. Again, Dylan, thank you. And to everyone else who's here tonight, thank you very much.
So I think it falls to me to respond and to close up the event. Thank you so much, Jim, for your comments. I think your call there for reconciliation and social and environmental justice is is something that we all need to hear and to act upon, and it is certainly central to the mission of this new faculty that we've created for the learning and research in geography at York.
Mhm.
And thanks also for the memories you've given us of your time at York and the inspiration you received from Glenn, John, and Bill. Many of us will share your admiration of those three characters. I listening to your words, I think our marketing staff will have to ask you for copyright permission for the term distinctly adaptable practitioner and careers of rhizomic connectedness. I think this is something that I think you've put your finger on the button there in terms of what geographers bring to the world, and your career of rhizomic connectedness as an educator, an urban manager, a health manager, a community builder is certainly an inspiration. And we would like to put your picture up on the wall in the Geography Resource Center. And rest assured, you will never be replaced by any future Nobel Prize winners who may also win this award. It will remain there in perpetuity. So thank you so much, Jim. And I would just like to, again, congratulate all of our award winners, our graduates, and our students who have been with us today. I'd like to thank all of those who made this event possible, the staff, Ranu, and others who've been involved in the planning. I'd like to thank everybody who's come together this evening to be part of our geographical community at York, our staff, our alumni, our retirees, our faculty, our graduate students and TAs, our undergraduate students. Together, it's a really special community, and we will continue to celebrate in this way and to move together as a community. And I hope that you will all again join us next year at this celebration, and that we'll be doing it in person again with food on the table. So thank you all for joining us. Please stay safe and see you again next year. Thank you.